This video is going to continue on the topic I started in the previous one. I wanted to say a few words about soft shell recumbents. Recumbents obviously have this advantage of being much lower. There's a lot less of an air drag. You can see it here. If you check out my book, I describe how I made my upright bike as incredibly comfortable as it is. But even then, I'm sitting on my sit bones, even with the suspension and the padding in this ultra-wide seat and everything. It's still not comparable to a recumbent, which is distributing the weight between your sit bones, your hip bone, the lower back, and the shoulder plates, so that your sit bones is literally taking maybe a quarter as much of the weight. And finally, should you fall off, I'd rather be falling off from this position, especially on a downhill at 50 miles an hour, than to fall ahead toward the front over the front handlebar on an upright bicycle. So the advantages are obvious, but there's always been a problem getting not just a recumbent but a velomobile up into an apartment, and I think that's an area where soft shell recumbents and velomobiles can be very helpful. Now you have certain alternatives, because there is my most favorite speed recumbent, the Toxis ER, which for an extra $500 is going to give you a folding option. And look at how tiny this thing is. So if you don't have the box, you just pop off the seat and you can fold the frame itself, and that's how you end up with something that fits in a tiny suitcase. It's absolutely unbelievable. The weight is close to 30 pounds on this one. So this is almost like a half velomobile, because you can buy a box and you can buy a front fairing as well. And so in that sense, you are getting very close to that weather protection as well. I also checked on the AI to see what it says about speed averages. Well, based on what I know about, not recumbent, but remember this is just recumbent, not a velomobile, they say you average 18 miles an hour. Actually, that's quite accurate. And for the upright, I would say 10 to 12 for most people, unless you're a very fit rider and you have a road bike. And as opposed to the recumbent, instead of the 18, I would say velomobile is going to give you more like a 20, even 20 to 22 mile per hour speed average, because even though the uphills you might take at 5 miles an hour, on the flat they can cruise at 25, which is way beyond even what the road bikes can do. And on the downhills, velomobiles have been recorded doing downhills at 60 miles an hour. So here is the velomobile that I'm looking at. This is not a hard shell velomobile. This is a soft shell. As you can see, there is an umbrella-like structure on the outside, which actually folds out as very much as an umbrella. This is what it looks like an umbrella, or like a heavy umbrella, or a large rain jacket. And then you have this poncho that goes inside of it. The bag is an extra. Now, because it is a soft shell, you can remove all of these, which makes it so much easier to carry and to store. And you can push this thing into an elevator by lifting the front and pushing it into the back. And this is what it looks like. But it gives you almost as much weather protection as you would get with a hard shell. And consider that if it's very warm also, you may just want to use it as a recumbent and not use the velomobile part, just do a recumbent bike. This is how it folds. It becomes very compact, very easy to store away. And just like an umbrella, it has a skeleton in it and some joints, and it folds. On the downside though, unlike in a hard shell, you have nothing to protect you from the bottom. So it's not quite as good as a hard shell, not as protective. If you plow into a muddy pool, the dirty water is gonna splatter all over your clothing. So there are certain trade-offs to having a soft shell, no question about that. But I think it's worthy of considering, and it looks really good. I think this is a really sporty little car look. It looks almost like the Morgan trike, but a sportier way of doing it. And you can add electric as well. The company Hase has an electric option, and they have a differential. So the fact that you are powering the rear wheels is not a problem, which is remarkable. Not many trikes like this at all on the market. You have a light that you can include, one piece. So here I am. The starting point is a little over $3,000, and without adding anything fancy, I just want to add what we were talking about. It has fenders. Maybe I would add the fenders. I think that's useful just for weather protection. Lights I don't care much about. Okay, this bag, that's very nice. I would add that. This rear bag was really appealing to me, so it's just so spacious. It has a big reflector on it, so I'm going to add that. And this is the start of the show. $600 plus a poncho if you want to be that secure, plus an instrument attachment. So $5,000. Here it is. $5K, as opposed to paying minimum $8K for a hard shell Velomobile. You can disassemble it, you can store it, you can just remove the shell and use it as a recumbent if the weather is too hot. I think it's totally worthy of considering, and I'm putting links below to let you examine this yourself. In fact, 3 other soft shells I'm going to review from the Lightning company. Lightning, unlike Hase, which is German, is American. All of these are handmade. This is an exceptionally ugly thing that they made, basically wrapping their cheaper recumbent frame with this potato looking monstrosity. I would not want to be seen on any of these, so this is definitely not recommended. But hey, it only costs $4,000, and according to their measurements, which is absolutely fascinating, and you should check out these pages, because even though this is ugly and does not have a wedge-like front that would cut into the air, still the numbers, the speeds they are getting are quite impressive, and it's only $4,000. Now the real star of the show with Lightning is the Lightning F40. This has won a number of races. They did a cross United States ride in 4 days and nights, which is just absolutely amazing. But the price is accordingly. So adding a racing windshield, which just doesn't make much of a difference, pushes the price above $9,000. That's what it costs. But this one has only 2 wheels, and it's an asymmetrical wheel arrangement. So really powerful rear wheel, but the front is, which is the dad wheel, is just a very small thing to maximize the efficiency, minimize the weight of the front wheel. These videos are old, but they show some remarkable footage demonstrating the speed of this thing, especially on downhills. And I think it's a really, really good looking bike. The front is a hard shell. This front part is a piece of plastic, like the half of an egg. It's not a problem at all to put it on or to remove it. It's very light. So you can still get this removed and put it into an elevator and muscle it up into your 12th floor apartment in Manhattan. It's entirely doable. And the basis of it is just a standard recumbent. Now they have it this is the recumbent that it's based upon, except for $18,000, which is twice as much. They are replacing the aluminum and other components with as much carbon fiber as they can, and so the weight really goes down, but the price really goes up. So that's what you get for $18,000. I think it's a really nice ride. I would even I would enjoy having a bicycle like this. And just like with the Hase, you can remove the shell and put it away for the summer if the weather is too hot for this. Although in light color, I think it's very protective against the sun as well. So it's worth considering, even if you live in a hot weather area where you don't want to be exposed. Okay, this is it for soft shell recumbents. This is a very tiny market segment. I only know of these two bikes that are worth noting. If anybody knows of anything else, I would be curious about those models. I hope that the recumbent market is going to expand. It's certainly expanding in Europe, and it is very slowly expanding in the US as well, mostly as a hobby product, whereas in Europe they increasingly use them for commuting as well because of the speed and the weather protection.
I'll be back.